Hi, you SOMers out there. It's November 18th, 2010, and for the 50th anniversary of Strat-o-matic, I'm interviewing James Williams, who has been with the company all of his life, and his mother worked with it. And so I'll start it out by asking, how is your mother?
Well, like I said, she's doing pretty well. She's holding on. I mean, she just had a birthday on Sunday. She just turned 86, and she's still doing pretty well. But age is starting to catch up with her, so she's slowing down a bit. She doesn't do any work for us any longer, so she's just enjoying her age, I say.
When did she join Strat-o-matic?
She was there from the first. The first year that he did it, she was there because she had initially, worked for Hal's mother and father, doing work for them. And then Hal kind of recruited her to help him out in the business. It was basically the two of them at first, from 1961 on. And I think in 1964, after I graduated from high school, I started doing some typing for him at first, and then that was basically all I did. I typed at home at first, and then I think I started going into the office doing the typing, basically typing up brochures and also labels for the orders. It was little small labels I had to type on a manual typewriter. Good thing I still had some typing speed anyway, so that's basically what I did. So after a while I went into the office with her every day and basically just typed the labels for the orders and brochures. But she was there from the inception, really.
Wow. Well, were you on the first design crew for the football?
I think I did the testing. Basically, when the football was done, I was still in college. So I think maybe because when I was in college, I used to come back and work every summer. That was my summer job, basically. And I remember testing the football game out. But I guess you could say I was there, but when he designed the game, I was not there initially. But I did get involved in some of the early testing.
Can you tell us any tales and the fate of the old college football game?
I'm sorry, what do you want to know about that?
Do you have any tales, or could you say anything about the fate of the old college SOM football game?
Well, actually, the college game, I was there, and Steve and I really tested that game extensively. As a matter of fact, we used to spend days. That's all we did was test that game over and over again. And for some reason, they always thought I was like the top college football player. But I guess when you're only playing 2 or 3 people, you could be the top, So I basically was there. Steve and I, we used to, for the most part, for most of the day, that's what we did. We just played the college football game over and over again. And, it finally came out, and it was not, initially it was a success, but I think obviously because of the fact that we couldn't use a player's name, it never caught on to the extent that the pro football game came out. And it was a totally different game. It was a card game, and I liked the game. I actually liked it very much. But so I was there for the testing, but that's about all I can tell you is that Steve and I had a lot of fun testing that game.
Actually, I liked it too. It was actually a well-designed game.
I thought it was a good game. It didn't catch on the way we thought, but I really liked the game a lot.
I bet it would be worth looking at now.
You think so?
I'd say, with the change, everyone has a lot more awareness of college football, it seems, now than back then. They weren't rooting for other teams as much as they do now.
Exactly. I actually wouldn't mind playing the game. It's been so long because, when we came out with it the second time, they changed the format to basically like the pro game. But I really think the card game initially was really a nice game. And I enjoyed playing it. After a while, you get tired because, like I said, we played it all day. We come in the morning, and that's basically what we did all day, sat there at this table and played over and over again, and we developed a a certain amount of statistics, which Hal would analyze. And if things were off, he would tweak it, and then we would go back and we'd play some more. And it was actually somewhat enjoyable. But I think those were the early years, and we did a lot of testing, much more so than we do now. We did a lot of, plus with computers now. Computer does a lot of the work. We had to keep all the statistics and everything by hand,
Sure.
But the college game was a good game. Actually, since you brought it up, I do kind of miss playing that game.
Well, maybe that can be one of the sessions at the convention.
I don't even know if we have the game, anything. I don't even know if we have the original game around here, or the card deck. I do remember seeing something a few years ago, but we've done a lot of moving in the building here, and whether or not we even still have any that, I don't know. I had to go downstairs and look in the basement. There's a possibility that some of the parts might still be around.
Pretty funny. What other games did you help design?
Well, I won't say I designed anything. I'm not taking credit for that. Basically, my efforts were more in the just playing the game and maybe offering comments, tips on what areas I thought could be improved. But basically, Hal is the brains behind all the games. I don't, except for hockey. He didn't know anything about hockey, so that was done internally. And I don't know anything about hockey either, very little. So I won't take credit for doing any designing. Basically, just helping with tweaking it to get things to perform, and then also playing it and trying to play it to win, and also to keep the stats, but also playing it the right way. And that was basically my contribution, just playing the game and helping to tweak it to get it to where it is today.
Can you tell, what would be the funniest story you could tell about working at the SOM offices that you could tell?
Well, I don't know. This funny story really don't involve me. It involves some of the employees, and some things I don't know if I should go into about some of the employees we've had here. And I don't want to.
No, one you could tell. And you don't use names, please.
I really would have to think about this a lot, but we've had some employees that used to drive Hal to work when we first moved from Port Washington to Glenhead, and we had an employee that had some substance abuse problems, and I remember he came in one day, he was so out of it, and it was like freezing out that we had to put him into this cold warehouse that we have to help get him out of it. I don't think it worked. I mean, he was so juiced up that even being in like, I say, almost 0 degree temperature where we had him at, it didn't seem to do much good. That may not be really funny. I mean, it was kind of funny to us the way, he's a nice person that worked with us. But we've had a list of characters over the years, and I would really have to stop and think. I'm not a very good storyteller. Steve is very good at that. I mean, I would admit sometimes, and be honest with you, my memory is not the same as it was years ago. And sometimes he brings up things to me now that I don't even remember, and I have to stop and think about. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's time to get out. And I'm starting to lose things off my fastball now. My fastball is not what it was. I mean, it used to be maybe 95. It's probably about 89 now. So maybe it's time to move on, while I'm still, got my faculties about me for the most part. As far as funny stories, I really have to stop and think to try to come up with something funny.
How about anything scariest thing that happened at Strat-o-matic that you remember?
Anything what scariest you said?
Scariest.
Most of the things that I know involve some of the employees that have worked here. I mean, we had a great list of characters here. I really wish I could go into some of these characters that we've had worked here over the years. Most of them were nice people, but some of them were limited mentally, I would say. I hate to use it because I don't want to disparage anybody, but we've had some cast of
No, you're fine. How about, how are the new offices looking? What's your job at SOM now?
Well, my job is what it's always been. I basically handle the retail area. For the most part, I run the football game, making sure that functions properly. Totally, but I have help in that area. Basketball, for the most part, I do alone, as far as raising the players and actually doing the game itself. I'm very much involved in baseball, which is what we're doing now in a lot of areas. A lot of my duties are overseeing the things and making sure everything is correct, so that I do a lot of checking and verifying, as opposed to just actually doing things. But I have to know how the job runs, but I have to verify things just to make sure they're correct, and that's one of my main functions here. And also, like I say, in the retail area, for the most part, I hate to say I'm being phased out, but I am being phased out, which is, by choice, basically, because it's time to move on. So some of the duties that I had in the past, like helping to run Strat-o-matic, are being taken over by Lemmy. And I'm really now trying to train people. We're actually computerizing the football game, because a lot of the things I've done, the football is probably the hardest game of all to do, because there's so many things involved that I can't even go into, so many charts and things involved. It takes a long time to do it. And right now I have more knowledge in this area than almost anyone here except Hal Richmond. So now we're setting up, trying to computerize this so it will be able to function after I'm gone. I'll be doing consulting in that area, basically, after I leave here. So as far as the new offices, personally, I liked it better the other way. I had my own personal office, but now I'm in a cubicle, like everyone else around here. So it's not as private. It's not that it has to be private, but sometimes when we're talking around here, it gets quite loud, and it was just better when you had your own little space, and I could close the door if things were kind of loud. Here I can't.
I can't even imagine what it looks like if it's cubicle-like.
Yeah, well, this set up more like a New York City office. Everyone has their little cubicles, and it's a large space, so it's not like I don't have the space. But I mean, compared to before, in an office, I still have like 3 computers that I use. I still use an old Mac. I got my PC, and I got another PC that I use just for basketball. So I was spread out pretty much in the office, but actually what it just means is now I just have less space to look junky. That's all, because it's still junky looking at. You come in, you'll be saying, how does this guy work? But for the most part, I seem to know where everything is. I can find most things, but I got a unique filing system that no one will be able to do besides me.
Do you have any plans for your retirement now that it's coming after this year?
Yes, to relax. Just relax, and I don't have any definite plans as far as doing anything. I'm sure I'll join the gym to try to stay in shape, and I have to find something to do to keep my mind active. I don't want that to go too soon, but I don't have any definite plans. Maybe do a little traveling, and possibly in the future I might be moving to the south, or at least to a warmer climate. My wife and I haven't determined that yet exactly how that's going to go, but basically just to relax, give my mind a break. I mean, this job, it's not, I won't say it's stressful, but there are a lot of things we don't, things have to be correct. So, I'm constantly making sure things are right. And one thing you hate more than anything is to make an error on anything, because, it's just not good. And there's so much involved that it's very easy to make errors, statistical errors for the most part. But really, I'm just going to relax and just take it easy for a while. And who knows, maybe after a year I'll be bored. I'll still be doing some work for Strat-o-matic, so it's not totally specifically in the basketball game area. I still watch a lot of basketball, and I plan to normally to keep doing that for a while. But other than that, I have no definite plans laid out other than just relaxing, maybe doing a little traveling, and just enjoying retirement life. That's it.
Well, congratulations. I want to thank you for all the work that you've done that I've wound up being a recipient of. Do you have anything that you'd like to say to your SOM friends as we conclude this?
No, well, it's been a blast. Basically, when I came out of college, I started here right after college, but I wasn't making much money, so, and I also knew that I was probably going to be drafted, so I left here after a while. I went to work for New York City as a caseworker. I worked there. That's where I was working actually when I got drafted and when I went into the military. Didn't particularly like the work I was doing, going to people's houses and investigating welfare clients and things like that. And even though I will admit, had I stayed there, I probably would have retired 10 years ago. That's the way things were set up. But I didn't particularly like that, and because of my love of sports, and the fact that Hal recruited me again when I came from the military and asked me to come back, and we worked out salary and everything, and I enjoy working. I really enjoy working with sports. I mean, I've always been a sports fanatic. I have a great love still for my Washington Redskins and my Los Angeles Dodgers, and those will always be my team, no matter how lousy the Redskins are. They'll still be my team. So basically, I've enjoyed working here. I've enjoyed meeting a lot of different people over the years, both professional people, celebrity people, and just the customers that we deal with. I've enjoyed that, and I'll always treasure the time that I spent. And I guess I can look back years later and remember some of the deadlines and some of the stressful situations that did come up where we had to get things out, get things done in a hurry, and we were able to accomplish these things and do them in a timely fashion, do them correctly. And I'm just glad that at least our customers have enjoyed our work, because I don't think they realize how much work goes into these games. I mean, I remember doing games back before computers became the norm, and where we actually had to take pencil, tape, and calculators and go through all the computations that we had to do. And that was a very time-consuming, long job. But computers, probably the greatest invention they've ever had. Definitely for our kind of work. But other than that, I really just enjoyed, working with sports and working with Strat-o-matic, working with Hal Richmond, and the other people that worked at Steve Barkin. We've both been here together